Hello, infidels. I'm in my car right now. I just wanted to share a quick message about the gospel, about Jesus. I was just pondering the difference between, of course, Protestantism, Eastern Orthodox, and Catholicism, and but it sort of stemmed from a Facebook post where I'm in different areas, like I'm sure most of you guys are on Facebook, but I'm in this one great group. It's called Progressive. It's a progressive Christian group, and they have a tendency to question a lot of the basic traditions of the church, the basic things that people believe for a long time. They through scholarship they studying new discoveries, whatever, they come up with different conclusions. And I spent a good portion of my studies studying progressive theology, and I understand it, and I sort of jumped into it for a little while, and some interesting stuff. But in the end, it's just part of the fun of studying. But you can't really argue with the tried and the true. But anyway, quickly here. Oh yeah, so I answered a question about of course, authority, like who wrote the Bible, were there eyewitnesses, all of this kind of stuff, and so in this thread, I said, yes, Paul wrote his letters 15 to 25 years after the crucifixion, and then 40 to 70 years after the resurrection. You had Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John writing their gospel accounts. And one guy responded. He said, "Look, Luke and Matthew got their information from Mark, because Mark wrote his first." Yeah, and you can't really argue with that. There is some of that going on. That's why there's the Synoptic Gospels. But I mentioned, I brought in the power of the church, not just sola scriptura. See, here's where we got to bring in the full authority of the church. I said, look, there's a great tradition there's an understanding, first of all, that the mother of Jesus lived a rather long life. And, she lived into her old age. And there's a tradition, a solid tradition, church tradition out there that says that Luke, the writer of one of the Gospels, sat down with Mary and actually got the birth account from her. Now, you can't go wrong with that, right? You sit down with the mother of Jesus, hey, what really happened? Well, she was there the whole time on, the birth of Jesus. The census, trying to find a place at the inn, the manger, the shepherds, all of that. She told Luke, and then, Luke made a very careful investigation. And it was over a period of time. And then finally he wrote it, but he did some investigation, and tradition has him sitting down with Mary, and then he painted that beautiful icon. Czestochowa, I think it's in Poland. It's called the icon of Czestochowa. It's a great one of mother and child. And but what I did see, it's hard to do that with sola scriptura, because you don't really have the fullness of the faith to combat the difficulties of progressivism, and they're tough. They're coming strong. They study the documents, and then they just deny the faith. But I will not let them deny the faith. I will study the documents too, and then I will use the power of the conviction of the church to let them know what the truth is. Now, in humility, because we could all be wrong, don't get me wrong, but as I see it, I'm weighing in as I see it. And, you know, those beautiful Christmas celebrations. See, they're trying to steal that from people today. For 2,000 years, we've had the beautiful Christmas celebrations of, you know, the shepherds. I'm talking to Luke, not the wise, or the three kings were more Matthew's. But, you know, we were addressing Luke. I was addressing Luke's gospel. So you had the shepherds. You have this beautiful place, the census, they call the census. They have to leave. Mary's like 9 months pregnant or whatever. And they go on the road, the anxieties. Joseph can't find a place for his wife to have the child. And you know, you got the inn. And the question is, are we rejecting the baby Jesus ourselves? Is there room in our hearts like the inn? You know, there's all these blessings from the Christmas story. Then you have the birth, the manger, the shepherds, the angels. And it's a wonderful thing. And, you know, this is 2,000 years of celebration we've had. And now these progressives come along within the last really couple hundred years, but especially now, they say, well, guess what? It really didn't happen. It didn't happen that way. You know, it's all... You know, the modern world is just a big makeup. There's no such thing as angels or shepherd or angels singing. And after all, angels, we don't see angels singing today. So why should we believe angels sang 2,000 years ago? And you know, these are the arguments. They got some tough. You know, the progressives got some tough arguments. That's why we gotta study to show ourselves approved unto God. And that means, you know, using all of the things that God gives us. Because what a tragedy if it is true. You know, people come to the end of their lives and they thought, oh, that was just a fairy tale made up. And then God says, you know, no, it was really true. Then they're like, I was duped. yeah, we're being duped. And, you know, because the progressives, no matter how much they study, they cannot ask Matthew, Mark, Luke, or John. They're all dead. They can't. Nobody. You know, it's a speculation. So you know, we go with the tried and the true, and that's the Holy Church and the interpretations. And we've got, you know, tremendous scholars in the truth in the church for many, many, many more years than these progressives. They got some tough heavyweights. You know, I can name names, you know, some of the names like maybe Crossan, Borg, Spong. I've studied some of these progressive guys. I've read many books on Spong, and some of the stuff I like, but you know, if you're going to deny the faith, you know, that's when we got to part ways. But we need to know the arguments, and there's a lot of people abandoning the faith because they say, you know, a lot of young people say, well, I just don't believe it because science says it's fairy tales, you know, science. And you know, Aquinas, he proved that, look, it's faith and reason, our faith. It's not just sola fide. It's not just faith like Luther taught. It's faith and reason. And science and faith do not contradict. There's one truth. And that's all I wanted to say today. God bless you. And God bless the baby Jesus. We need the baby Jesus. Yes, I would like to share more about the baby Jesus because there's a great devotion in the church about the baby Jesus. And he brings many blessings. Yes, it's good to study. Study about the baby Jesus, infant of Prague, and I'll do more of that in a later video. Right now we're still in the Easter season. That's more for the Christmas season. So you got to liturgically follow the calendar. But since I'm mentioning, you know, scholarship and Luke, is that a real account? Yes, it's a tried and true account. What Luke wrote is true. Of course, Scripture has to be interpreted within its genre, and but it meets the test. So, but yes, study the Infant of Prague. There's also other revelations of the baby Jesus throughout history. It's a great read because, you know, there's many blessed, God has many treasures for us. And that's one of them. And it all comes back to Mary and the baby Jesus. And Luke painted that beautiful icon as well, tradition says, when he sat down with Mary. But that's all I got to share right now. God bless you. Peace be with you. I'm signing out. Subscribe and like that channel.